why is it so important for us, and how, like, for whatever we have studied up till now, how can we make sure that security is there in those components. Okay, then going forward, for every component we'll understand security aspects of it together with that component itself. Okay, so when it comes to I say, when it generally comes to all the cloud environments and cloud or your infrastructure, it is very, very important to maintain a certain level of security in that. Okay, because if you will keep, since you have like public subnets, you have publicly available instances. Okay, anybody in the world can reach those instances using some certain ports, etc. Okay, and because those ports are actually available, somebody can come on those instances and then they can connect everything in the network. Because you see, when you go ahead in your private network also, you can access your private network from your public instances, right? As we saw, we were not able to connect to private instance directly, but we were able to connect to private instance via public instance, so that was working for us. Okay, so that level of security is something that we'll have to maintain. Okay, now why is it very, very important is because, as I already mentioned, we have our customers data, we have data um, from all of our clients, we have our own data. That is, example, if I am selling few products and I want to take care of all of those products, their details, their like, I have hundreds of applications, transactions going on and stuff like that. I don't want anyone to be able to hack into in those stuff and do any kind of errors for me. Okay, so in this case there can be two types of, generally hacking happens in a way that they go to one of your public instance or any instance or resource that's publicly available via port. Okay, from that port they'll try to access something that is confidential. Okay, by going into that machine they'll try to go ahead and try to reach something, some database where your customer data is present, or some other place where you have your confidential data. They will keep that data. Either they'll back up the data and do ransom. Okay, they'll take the data, remove it from your database, and say that, okay, if you want this much money, so if you want the data back, pay this much money to me. Okay, that's ransom that happens with companies. Okay,
mm,
or they can take your data and sell it online.
mm,
Okay. Even if they take your data and you give them ransom, it's not 100% compulsory, because they are hackers. If they were working ethically, they would never have done it in the first place. So they were doing it for money. Even if they take money from you, there is no guarantee that they'll delete the data and give you back the data. They can still go ahead and sell the data. They can give you back the data, you give them money, they'll go ahead, sell that data online. And what happens in all of this case? Your company's reputation goes on a toss, right? Because if you are a if you are a customer of a company and they are not maintaining a certain level of security, you don't want to get engaged to it. Imagine, if I'm right now I'm talking about certain companies that will have your e-commerce data or your some small data. In fact, in those, like, if you go ahead and talk about Amazon. Okay, you do keep your credit card details on Amazon. You keep certain specific details on Amazon. You do your KYC on Amazon or Paytm, Google Pay. Okay, you do your
mm,
KYCs. Okay, you make payments. You put your credit card details, etc. All of that can be sold. Okay, if your credit card information, they don't have your PIN and other things, so they can't do anything. Okay, but they can sell that credit card details to somebody who can then call you and say, I'm from so and so bank, this is your credit card. Okay, it's getting expired, and all of those uh, like other story happens, right? As it
mm,
happens for every one of us, we are all aware of it,
yeah,
right? Now in this, all of this happens, like, that's how they get the data. Okay, you'll understand that how do they get the data, how do they get my card details, how did they get this, that. They get all of these details because we have filled some information somewhere, in some place, in some application or somewhere. Okay, which got leaked. Okay, once it got leaked or sold, okay, anyone, Any hacker, any like con man can go ahead and access those details, buy those details, and then take some money from you.
Yeah.
Okay, so it is very very important. And when it comes to banks, example, now I'm talking about your e-commerce websites right now. Okay, forget about those e-commerce website. Imagine if it's a bank. It has all of your details, everything. It has your transaction details, it has everything. Although breaking a bank system is far 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 more difficult than breaking an e-commerce system, because e-commerce, they have something called as quick delivery. Okay, quick delivery as in they want to just deliver their features quickly, as I already mentioned. Okay, they want to deliver their features quickly, they want to be very quick with whatever they are doing, which is why sometimes they won't do all of this. Okay, they will make sure that like these delivery systems, sorry, banks will not do something like this, because in banks they want to maintain a certain level of security, because they are dealing with security systems, they are dealing with your money. If you lose confidence in a certain bank, you can go, all of us can go bank run. Okay, as in all of us can go ahead and start taking out money from bank. Then that's when the bank will collapse and will have bankruptcy and all of that kind of details. Bank run that recently happened in like a recent bank run happened in US, I guess last, that's what last I've heard of. But but now, so they need to maintain a certain level of security. But when it comes to e-commerce, they are more keen of giving you more features than maintaining that certain level of security or high level of security. Okay, and that, if I'm talking about reputed e-commerce, they will still have some, they will still maintain their reputation. But when it comes to something that is still coming in um your gaming websites, your other websites, and all of that, they can go ahead and sell their data. No problem at all. Okay, because, or they can be easily hacked. Why they can be easily hacked is because for them, maintaining a certain level of security, having a security team, spending that money and time in security is of second priority than earning money. Okay, if we earn money, if we have some customers, that's when it makes sense to have security for those customers. If I start maintaining security now and I don't have customers, or my customers are not happy, they will not come back. So getting in power with the changing times, with new technologies and all of that, they kind of keep security as a second seat for. Okay, so now you understand, that's why this entire security scenario is there. Okay, so very very important part in terms of security is, you have to give access to something, but make sure that you are giving access to only enough resources that your work can be done, or other person can do a certain level of work. Okay,
Yeah.
but not give security for everything, and not give access to everything, so that it can be misused. Okay, example, if your child wants probably um a chocolate. Okay, you give them a chocolate, done, easy. Now they are asking for chocolate and you're giving them a big cake with 5, 10 chocolates and everything. Okay, that's when, that's what we say, no, you are spoiling the child. Okay, same way, when it happens to security, when you are talking about security, give only enough access that a person, like this particular person is able to perform some actions on this. But do not open everything, like the entire communication between them. If you open entire communication between this and this, then you'll have to make sure of clubbing this together in a way, in a tight way, that nobody else is able to illegally come on any one of these systems. Else, if somebody comes on any one of these systems, other one will also be compromised. Okay.
Yeah.
Example, now if I have one system, it is connected to a database. I have full connectivity open, okay, between them. A hacker comes on this system by any chance. They will, in in turn, will have access to your database also. Okay, because they can see outgoing requests, they can see how much, what is the traffic going, where is the traffic going, is it open? If it is open, they're good to go. Okay, same scenario, same stories can happen again. So in this case also, let me show you how we can maintain security in our VPCs and in our EC2 instances. Okay. So when it comes to security, it is more of controlling everything. To be able to control, when this machine tries to connect to this machine, you should have control over what ports they are trying to connect to. Okay, how they are trying to connect to, what is the protocol that they are trying to connect to, etc, etc. Okay,
Yeah.
so it's not like TCP open from this to this full, again compromised. UDP open this to this all, again compromised. You have to tell them TCP on this port coming from this IP is something that I want to allow.
Yeah.
Okay,